holy student of love. To become the happy learner takes devotion and deep concentration of truth. At the beginning of the spiritual journey, there is usually an inner battle that ensues because you have just, by entering the spiritual journey, you have turned so sharply that the ego gets thrown into a tizzy. And when the ego realizes that you're no longer kidding around with the world, you're no longer buying it unaware, the ego begins its next assault. And the assault is to keep you as you were. The assault brings up as much fear as possible to convince you that you'd be much better off to just go back to normal. And the ego also tries to convince that all the teachers that have been placed in the world for love, that you should probably be somewhat suspicious of their words, their alignment, their purpose. And to the assault of the ego, this can be very easily collaborated by letting almost every beloved look at the teachers of the world that they have learned with or not learned with, the teachers in school, the teachers of different activities. And the ego says, this is what's in front of you. But let a devoted student fall in love with the teacher. And a door opens that is breathtaking. The teachers that arrive can be so many you can't count. Every spiritual book that you read from an awakened one, that beloved while you're reading the book and forever after remains as your teacher. That is their gift. That is their offering. You'll find yourself remembering a teaching from the book 20 years later. And it is so embedded that it becomes a part of you. You feel their essence. You feel their energy every time you think of them. How is that possible? The reason that it's possible is because it's love. It's love that clings to you. It's love that guides you It's love that reassures you and comforts you. You never met that teacher, you think, because you haven't seen them in form, but they're completely embedded within you. Every time you read a book, truly read the book from an awakened one, that becomes your teacher also. The teachers don't compete. They're thrilled for the mighty companions that you've called to yourself. And the mighty companions are necessary. Imagine climbing Mount Everest without a Sherpa, without having studied the mountain, without having gathered the ones who have been before to take you to the top. That is their purpose. That is their service. And the spiritual teacher has the same intention and the same purpose. They can't turn away. It's their life. Whether they're still within a body or they are passed out of the body and are still just as much of a teacher. And they teach the ultimate teaching by not being in a body, that you have their complete attention, and that all you have to do is call their name, think of them for just a second, and they're there. They never really went anywhere. It isn't just to take you to the top of a mountain. It's to teach you the comfort of love. That you can be so loved that the teacher will stay devoted as you go in and out of acceptance and learning. And everyone has a specific purpose for you. But again, there's no competition. It's all in perfect harmony. A beloved said to me at one point in the journey, she said, "There's just some of us who are not devotees." And she said it to me as if I was one of them with her. And it surprised me, because within was a complete devotee. And the more that I recognized the power and the wisdom of those beautiful guides and beautiful teachers, the more I grew in devotion. It actually went upside down from the world. In the world would say, "I think you're done with school. Graduate from college. Become your own person." And in the spiritual journey, the more you heal, the more you cling to those divine teachers, because You're on your way to become one. You're on your way to disappear with them into the light of love. And the great comfort that you will never be without your mighty companions. Even as you become one with them, just a thought illuminates them completely. Just a stirring of the heart, and they come and say hello. The happy learner, the holy student, is not a detriment in any way. It is the most exalted place of this world. This is the lifetime that says, I am ready for reality. And all of the illusions begin to disappear. How many teachers can you have? 1,000? 100? Everyone that you meet in some way becomes your teacher. But the teachers that find you and you find them, that is the eternal. It is the comfort. I pray for comfort. I ask for comfort from the angels and the saints. I ask them to come and illuminate me. I ask for comfort from the kings and the queens, which are all the guides of the other dimensions. I ask them to come and illuminate the road home. I ask for comfort from the princes and the princesses that are also in other dimensions but come here to serve this dimension. I ask them to come and illuminate. The ideas of kings and queens and princes and saints and angels, are they really for you? Absolutely. Your divine spirit lives in the angel realms, lives in the saints' realms, lives in the realms with all the kings and the queens of all dimensions. You're just returning home, accepting them all in the name of love, joining, coming home. Thank God, all the help is always available. The Divine Mother, always present. This hymn was received imploring, in case I didn't say it enough, dear Mother, I beg for your love. Even though the Divine Mother doesn't need the begging In the journey of love, I needed the begging. I needed to want it so much, so it became everything. So begging was a way of ripping open any reserve. Mother, I beg for your love. Mother, I beg for your love. I beg you for your compassion. I beg you for your light. I beg you for the forgiveness. Help me in this darkness. Help me find your sun. Reveal the way to my light. Reveal the way to my Father. I'm a daughter of the Queen. I'm a daughter of compassion. Help me be in the light. Help me open my heart. For your love, dear Mother, for your charity, I ask that you show me the way to healing. For your love, I am here in this moment asking for healing for all of humanity. You will heal what is necessary as the heart is surrendered only for your love. Apenas por vosso amor, apenas por caridade, a vós te damos louvor, ó Virgem da castidade. Apenas por vosso amor, atendo no seu chamado. Ajuda-nos, ó cessar, a curar a necessitado. Heal what is necessary. It's such a powerful prayer. Heal what is necessary. It's really saying, I can't see all that's in my way. I can't identify everything that I've fabricated and made up in my mind. I can't see the truth in its complete clarity. So I ask you to heal what is necessary. There's a beautiful teaching that I'll paraphrase that says, Spirit knows exactly what it is that needs to be healed. And Spirit asks that you step back and allow the healing to occur. That you not bring your mind into the figuring out of how things should be. It only makes things more complicated. And Spirit asks, just allow. Heal what is necessary. Divine, divine, divine. a tethered falcon. My heart sits on the arm of God like a tethered falcon suddenly unhooded. I am now blessedly crazed because my master's astounding light is in constant view. My piercing eyes, which have searched every world for tenderness and love, now lock on the royal target, the wild Holy One whose beauty illuminates existence. My soul endures a magnificent longing. I am a tethered falcon with great wings and sharp talons poised. Every sinew taut like a sacred bow, quivering at the edge of myself and eternal freedom. Though still held back in check by a miraculous divine golden cord. Beloved, I am waiting for you to free me into your mind and infinite being. I am pleading in absolute helplessness to hear finally your words of grace. Fly, fly into me. Who can understand your sublime nearness and the separation? Every beloved that is walking the spiritual conscious journey will find themselves sitting on the arm of God, tethered, can't fall off. And as you wait there, you will find yourself suddenly unhooded. And you look and see for the first time, because as you're unhooded, it is because you're waking up. And as you see, you will be blessedly crazed by seeing the Master's light. This is not a deterrent to love. This is the way to love. Hafiza's eyes searched every world for tenderness and love. Every world. Constantly asking, constantly re-devoting, which is necessary, absolutely necessary. The ego continues its campaign to distract and to caution. The love that you experience of devotion is in itself a necessary relationship. To be devoted to love is to finally come full circle in devotion of your heart. And then the realization that there is only one heart. So you find yourself devoted to all of love. Beloved, I am waiting for you to free me into your mind and infinite being. Into your mind and infinite being. Do you really become free and merge into that infinite love? Yes. Yes. Has nothing to do with Master's personality or lack of it. Has nothing to do with likes and dislikes. Has nothing to do with language. It is a deep realization that the perfect guides have been sent to you. There could never be a mistake. It's all in perfect harmony. I kept being called to the teaching of projection. And there is a projection that occurs within the relationship of teacher and student. Those words are so worldly. They don't really describe the love. But there is a projection in that relationship that occurs that I certainly carried, more so with the teacher that was in form, because that seemed more threatening in a sense. So the projection was of authority within the world of being a child with an adult, trying to please the master, be recognized by the master, but seek that approval. Luckily, that is a very short-lived part of the purpose, because that projection is only there to realize that all of the projections that you had of all of this lifetime and other lifetimes can all be healed. And this love is seeing you for the first time in a depth that you haven't been seen before. And every word that is spoken has a purpose to it. And you're happy to be the tethered falcon that is suddenly unhooded and allows you to go deeper and deeper. Again, the upside downness of the teacher relationship is that it becomes stronger and stronger as you become more and more in awareness of your true self, because you're joining. When the teacher that was front and center for me passed out of the body early in the lineup of time, the most miraculous occurrence was that the relationship actually became stronger without the body, and was such a beautiful teaching because the body wasn't needed at all. And that mighty companion was like having a companion that walked in every moment and that I could hear. I could hear his words at any moment that I was willing to listen. And that's true of every relationship with every teacher that's in the awakened state. Don't limit your relationship with the teachers that are sent to you, because imagine yourself getting an invitation from a well-known master in the world, and that invitation says, come and sit with me. And that invitation is there all the time. It is the most exquisite opportunity of learning. I remember sitting with Jose while he was cooking. He was cooking for celebration of January 5th or some holiday thing. And he was cooking this fish stew. And what I saw in that moment was that the devotion that he had for making that stew was the same as his devotion all the time. And his devotion was my learning. I had never experienced ever, that I knew of in any past lives, I had never experienced a devotion to humanity. That is what you join with. Devotion to humanity, devotion to your own heart, till your heart can join with all one heart. And you embrace whatever shows up. And it's so much. So when you read a sacred book that has been brought through from a master, speak to that divine master. Meet them. They're imbued within the pages of the book, and they are there to learn whatever it is that they've come to add to your awareness. I watched at one point, I was in a meditation when I was in seclusion, and one of the guides that had been with me for eight or 9 years stepped away, and I saw Jesus step and take his place. And it was so exquisite. And the guide that was stepping away, I heard him say, we're complete in what you're going to learn with me, and Jesus is taking his dominant place back. And it was all in this holy perfection. And all the other teachers were there as well. Always the Divine Mother. Always Ramakrishna. My heart sits on the arm of God like a tethered falcon suddenly unhooded, and I see the light of the masters. Your devotion is an expanding gift that you offer to yourself and to humanity. And the guides and all the divine sacred teachings will first and foremost heal your identity with projection so that you can see so clearly that the reason you can receive so much from every teacher is because it's not about projection. It's about absorbing and letting your own identity get thinner and thinner until you merge into all of love. Projection in the world is the painful place that takes the greatest attention in healing, because the ego's full intention is to project. What is it that you're projecting? That's where the learning is. And the beauty of projection, if you want to call it a beauty, is that it allows you to see exactly what you believe in, because you see it in others. Imagine that you are holding a secret that you used to steal things when you were young. And some of it kind of continued, like if you go into a grocery store and they make a mistake and give you too much of something, you don't say anything, you just take it, you know. And all of us have done that in some way, some shape or form in the past. But if you've stolen, you look through that lens of stealing and you suspect others of stealing also. You suspect that your stuff isn't safe because there's a projection going on. Everyone is always projecting what their own beliefs are. That's why it's such an easy fix. It's such an easy healing, because you get to see exactly what you are believing in. If you believe that you are a body and that you are unsafe, your fear of others in the physical will be stronger also. It all projects out, and then you get to see it and then heal it from within you, because it isn't the other that is going to be healed. It's going to be what you carry in your mind. So it can be a wonderful gift to be able to see the projection. The beloved who came as my brother always accused me of cheating. And I never cheated, playing card games with him in secret. But he had a difficulty not wanting to win so much. He wanted to win. And that projection was right there. Projection is and can be the gift that you get to see what you believe in through others, through how you see others and your reactions with the world. We've all had to walk through the untruth of being a victim within the world. But if you see yourself as a victim, most likely you're going to see many as victims. I used to cry out every time I thought I saw an animal that had been hit by a car. That projection was my fear of death, my fear of the world is unsafe. It was all the opportunity to see what I believed in. Use that as a gift. Don't be afraid of it, because if you're afraid of the projection, then you hide from it and keep thinking that it's just a problem that is arising. It isn't. It's the reflection. And that reflection is the gift. Again, there's a beautiful teaching that says, don't try to change the world. Change your mind about the world. Because that's where all the healing is. It is an incredibly celebratory place to realize that there is nothing outside your own mind. Because once you recognize that there's nothing outside your own mind and that you choose the feelings and the reactions that you have based on what you're thinking and what you think you know, your healing is completely filled with the power of transformation. Because if it's out there, if the problem is out there, if somebody else is the problem, there's no healing, except that it isn't out there. It's all in the mind. And thank God, because that can be surrendered, that can be forgiven, that can be changed. Let it be given to you to take that truth and use it in every moment. As soon as you think you see something and you have a reaction to it, embrace it. Embrace it as deeply as you can. In ownership, not in judgment, not in attack, self-attack, but these are my beliefs. This is how I'm seeing things. This is familiar. And I want this healed. This cannot be the truth. Whatever it is, it's there for healing. It's there for transformation. Allow it. Allow it all the way. A tethered falcon with great wings and sharp talons poised, quivering at the edge of myself and eternal freedom. Quivering at the edge. Every time that you allow that whatever you believe is occurring is actually just in your own mind, you become stronger and stronger in the realization that you have the power of transformation within you. You've done nothing, but when you believe in an illusion, it's a suffering. And the suffering is not God's will. So the sooner that you can, with each reaction, with each thought, surrender it into the hands of love. Allow all the masters who are serving you to transform all the thoughts that are been lingering on your doorstep. The willingness to be healed. As Hafiz is talking about his teacher, the wild Holy One whose beauty illuminates existence, the blessing of that relationship is that he can speak truthfully, honestly, because the teacher will always embrace what's being offered and serve to transform it. When you give it to your own mind, sometimes that works, but sometimes in your own mind, the ego comes in and speaks loudest and first and doesn't give you the opportunity of actually seeing what is clear. Every teacher that you have is a blessing. Every day, with every guide, with every teacher, is a blessing. And make no mistake, the relationship gets stronger and deeper as you go deeper and stronger into truth. Where maybe you thought when you first had a teacher, oh, I'll just have a teacher for a little while. But it just gets stronger because you're going deeper and deeper and deeper and becoming one with all the guides and all the teachers. Blessed, blessed. Blessedly crazed. Allow yourself to be blessedly crazed in love, in truth, in light. Unlike the relationships within the world, the relationships with guides and teachers are sacred and have no limitation of form. It's all in perfection. And it has all been brought into your life in the perfect harmonic order, in beauty, in perfection.